on, Queen City Reefers? So today we have a special episode. It's actually an episode that I'm dedicating to my daughter Lilian, and you'll see why here in a minute. So let me show you what's going on right now. As you can see, I have a mess here. I have a mess because I'm actually cleaning it up, but I have to make it a mess before I'm able to clean it up, because you know how it goes. You have to untangle everything, get everything ready to clean. And what used to be here, in case you don't know, in case you haven't followed this channel before or just forgot, I used to have my quarantine tank here, my QT tank. It was a 10-gallon QT tank that everything that I purchased would go into this tank before it went into any of my main displays. Well, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. This happened. So my daughter wanted a fish tank in her room. So one thing I've actually never mentioned before is her beta tank. So she has actually had a 5-gallon beta tank for some time. It was a way for her to show me that she could take care of a tank, and why not start with something easy? Well, she's ready to move up. She's got the bug too, and she wants a saltwater tank in her room. And I just couldn't I couldn't just have another tank and have to maintain it. So I decided to take down my 10-gallon quarantine tank in order to give her that tank, not necessarily that specific tank, but a tank that replaces the quarantine tank, kind of, right? So that I don't have a quarantine tank to maintain. Therefore, when she needs help, I'll help her with her saltwater tank. So what happens to my quarantine tank, you ask? How am I gonna quarantine corals and invertebrates and all that? Well, let me show you. Excuse the blue, that is very blue in here, but it'll be short and sweet. No more quarantine tank, because now when I purchase corals, I will be putting them straight into this frag tank in order to just observe them and make sure that everything's good before they go into a main display tank. So I'm going to be using this as not only a holding tank for my corals, but also for frags that I will be selling. And so you'll see a lot of that. You'll see in the middle here are all the corals I'm selling. On the left over there are all my corals that I'm just keeping an eye on to make sure they're doing okay before they go into a main display. And so I just didn't feel the need to have another quarantine tank when I already have this tank that won't really be housing any fish. It will be housing invertebrates for sure, just not fish, at least for now. All right, let's go and show you where this tank is gonna go. So here is a 5-gallon all-in-one tank that she has been housing the elephant beta fish, who she named Dumbo. Whoever designed this, and you would think it's an easy task, right? Just a tank with a cover on the back for the all-in-one area, I mean, and simple as that. But for whatever reason, you can see it pushing water up there, but you see all that buildup? It doesn't end up going into the overflow for whatever reason. So we're always having to clean all that nasty stuff from the top. And at one point we did have one of those filters that skims from the top, but it just, I mean, what's the point of having an all-in-one if you're having to add other filters, right? So we decided that instead we're gonna use a 10-gallon tank that I have free with a hang on the back filter, specifically the sea chem, that will help with the surface agitation and keeping this debris from building up there, because it has a surface skimmer. This is not the tank that she's getting though for the saltwater. This is just me showing you real quick what she currently has, and we're moving it into a 10-gallon tank. And here we have it. She is getting a tank exactly like the one that I have for the anemone, which is a 15-gallon all-in-one innovative marine tank. Pretty good size to keep in her room. I know sometimes I'm curious about how it's packed and all that, so I figured why not just quickly show you. I will tell you that this box is deceiving. So when I first got it for the bottom one, I was like, whoa, I misjudged the 15-gallon. It's a huge one. There's a box within a box. This is just for added protection so that it doesn't break during shipping, which is pretty cool. And here we have the tank itself with more padding. I mean, you cannot deny that for the price. I mean, this literally is a tank with glass, a acrylic overflow for the all-in-one part, $100. And during a Black Friday, which is when I took advantage to get this, it was $79.99. then I had a $10 coupon, so it's $69.99. Now, I will tell you that they charge you no matter what $20 for shipping, so it came back up. But there's no denying that this is such a budget-friendly tank, and to me, I don't see the difference between this and a water box that's 10 gallons. This here is going to replace this. This fish is going to go in a 10-gallon tank that's right there. And then we're gonna call it a day. So we're gonna fill this up with sand, some rock, some water, and let it cycle. So, all right, we'll bring you back once we're done with everything. I doubt that y'all want a long video of me just walking back and forth. So we'll bring you along when we're ready to end this video. Here she is, working on her scape. This is gonna be her anemone tank with 2 clownfish. What is going on, Queen City Reefers? So I know for y'all it was just maybe a second or so, but it's actually been what, like 3-4 days now since we set these up. About a week. So it's actually been about a week since we set these up, and I just wanted to show y'all so we can end this video on what we ended up with and what it looks like, and then from there we'll give y'all updates. But let's start with the saltwater tank. And here we have it. We have a 15-gallon innovative marine, just like the one that I have downstairs, but this one is in the room of my daughter, and as you can see, you'll see me there, reflection of myself and my daughter there, but let's focus more on the tank instead. So this right here is her scape. She actually, as you saw some clips earlier of her building her scape, this is what she came up with. I ended up giving her the light, the Maxspect jump that you have to turn on and off with a switch. And then I connected the AI Prime on the other tank, and I'll show y'all in a future video. But this is what ended up looking like right now, and so far so good. We actually a week ago started the cycle. We added the ammonia, added the beneficial bacteria, and we added this to be able to read when there's no more ammonia. And as you can see, it's yellow now. So it actually did turn into alert or alarm, but you know, my daughter kept an eye on it and noticed that it was in the safe zone now. And so I figured we'll give it another week before we add the clownfish. So we'll add the clownfish first. Let the bacteria establish a bit more, add some cleanup crew, so on and so forth. And then maybe in a month or so, we'll add the anemone that's gonna be going here. All right, so that right there is her tank, her marine tank. And now I'm gonna show you the freshwater beta tank and what we ended up moving them into from what you saw previously. So let's take a look. And here you have it. This is her tank. So we brought everything over, and you know, actually pretty cool that the rocks from the bottom actually were enough to fill this 10-gallon tank, and then we were able to put her other decor in there. We installed this Seachem Tidal filter that skims the surface through that vent right there, and so that keeps all the gunk that was building up at the top from building up like it was on the other one. And then you of course will see that there is the beta right there. There's the beta. So he likes to lay around a lot, except when it's time to eat, he'll come back up and eat all that food up once he sees it up there, but then he comes back down to lay down here. One of the things that I mentioned on my previous videos was doing a review on on products that were sent to me, and one of the products so happened to be, again, like if you didn't watch my previous video, what I'll mention is that HUUUGE reached out to me and asked whether I'd be interested in any of the products that they're sponsoring on the month of December. I chose 2. One was a small heater that I was intending to use for this tank, and the other one is to replace the one in my 310 mega matrix. So we'll start with this one on the next video. I'm going to actually unbox it. We're going to set it up. We're going to see if it keeps the temperature at the needed level, and we'll see how accurate the reading is from the temperature that it states that the tank is at. And then of course we'll do a long-term review in the future. That will be just initial unboxing, initial setup, and initial thoughts. And then it will replace this Aqueon heater that you find at Petco, and you know, which does the job, but you'll see an advantage that the other one has over this one, especially at the price. So far I was impressed with the price.
Seems to have a lot of great reviews, and HUUUGE, or I think you pronounce it HUUUGE, is a known company, right? My hope is that these two products that I ordered that I'm excited about work long term and do what they're supposed to do without failure. And if so, man, well, I tell you that we found something that will be very, very cost effective, very cost friendly to everyone. And so just stay tuned for the next video, and we're definitely going to do a review where we're going to swap out the heaters to introduce the HUUUGE mini heater pretty much. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video of setting up these tanks for my daughter. That we'll keep doing updates every now and then. And then for now, we'll leave y'all here. Again, thanks so much. If you like this video, please make sure you hit that like button. My daughter is asking, right, Lilian?
Yeah.
And make sure that if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave a comment in the comments below. And if not, I will catch y'all on the next one.